Somewhere above the clouds, there's an airport that shouldn't exist. An airport that sits nearly 2 kilometers above sea level. An airport that required engineers to reshape an entire mountain. An airport that the world said was impossible until China built it anyway. To understand why building an airport on a mountaintop was worth it, you first need to understand where this airport was built. And that story begins not with engineers or construction equipment, but with one of the most spectacular natural landscapes on Earth. The Three Gorges region of Chongqing, China, is a place where nature seems to have invented drama. Here, the Yangtze River, one of the world's mightiest waterways, slices through mountains that rise almost vertically from the water's edge. The direct distance to central Chongqing might be just 350 kilometers as the crow flies, but the actual road journey? Grueling hours over mountain terrain, winding roads with sharp hairpin turns, elevation changes that left modern vehicles struggling. The solution was obvious: an airport. But where? The terrain offered no easy answers. Mountains surrounded everything. Flat land was essentially non-existent in the region. A site was finally identified at the border of Wushan and Fengji counties. Topographical surveys and geographic analysis suggested this location offered the best possible catchment area for both tourism and regional transport. Infrastructure could be reasonably connected. The altitude was manageable. Before a single machine moved a single rock, before construction crews were even mobilized, China's top engineers faced a geological puzzle of staggering complexity. Taohua Mountain wasn't a simple peak sitting patiently, waiting to be utilized. It was a chaotic landscape of 7 distinct mountain ridges, separated by 6 deep valleys. Each valley represented a potential catastrophe for the project. The mandate from the Chinese government was unambiguous: reshape nature itself. The entire mountain system, all 7 peaks, all 6 valleys, would need to be fundamentally transformed. The target elevation for the runway was 1,771 meters above sea level. To reach that level, peaks would need to be blasted down. The highest points would have to be reduced by dozens of meters. Simultaneously, the 6 valleys would need to be filled. Massive quantities of rock and soil would have to be excavated from the peaks and carefully placed and compacted in the valleys. The runway itself would need to span 2,600 meters, a runway long enough to accommodate modern commercial aircraft. It would need to be perfectly level, perfectly stable, and engineered to perform safely for at least a century. 100 years of aircraft landings and takeoffs. When engineers completed their site surveys, the numbers that emerged were staggering. The project would ultimately require the movement and processing of tens of millions of cubic meters of rock and soil. This wasn't 100,000 cubic meters. This wasn't even a few million. We're talking about excavation on a scale rarely seen outside of major dam construction projects. To put this in perspective, imagine moving the equivalent of a small mountain, because that's exactly what was happening. The sheer volume was only part of the challenge. The engineering team faced 3 interconnected, seemingly impossible challenges simultaneously. First, the geological challenge. How do you safely excavate, move, and compact tens of millions of cubic meters of rock? The rock composition varied. Some sections were relatively stable, others were highly fractured. In the planning offices of Chongqing, senior engineers and government officials faced a moment of absolute clarity. The feasibility studies were complete. The cost projections had been calculated, and they were enormous. The geological surveys had been analyzed. Every piece of available data pointed to the same conclusion. This project was extraordinarily difficult, enormously expensive, technically on the very edge of what modern engineering could achieve, maybe on the edge of what was even theoretically possible. And China decided to do it anyway. On April 20th, 2015, the official decision was made. Construction would begin. The first blasts of dynamite echoed across the valleys of the Three Gorges, signaling that one of the most audacious engineering projects in modern Chinese history had begun. The project would operate under a brutal timeline, Government deadlines are government deadlines. Tourism projections predicted specific passenger volumes at specific dates. Economic planners had forecast revenue streams. Political promises had been made. The target completion date was set for 2018. That meant 4 years. To accomplish this, China assembled a workforce of more than 2,000 workers. These weren't just construction workers. The project required specialized engineers, geological experts, equipment operators, safety inspectors, and logistics coordinators. A small city worth of people, all focused on one impossible task. The total investment was approximately 1.64 billion yuan, roughly 240 million US dollars at the time. That's $240 million to reshape a mountain. The construction site had to be entirely built from scratch. Workers needed housing at high altitude. Temporary buildings were constructed to serve as mess halls, medical facilities, and administrative offices. Water had to be pumped up the mountain. Electrical power lines had to be installed. Waste management systems had to be designed and implemented. Everything. Safety protocols had to be extraordinarily strict. Workers were operating at 1,171 meters elevation in a remote mountain environment. Medical emergencies couldn't be quickly resolved. Rockfall was a constant danger. Equipment operation in thin air at extreme altitude presented physiological challenges. Oxygen levels were lower. Physical exertion was more exhausting. The cold was intense. China brought in safety experts. Altitude adjustment protocols were implemented. Workers rotated in and out to prevent chronic altitude sickness. Medical facilities were equipped to handle emergencies. Every safety standard was exceeded, not just met. The excavation process was nothing short of violent. The mountain peaks that had stood for millions of years were methodically, systematically destroyed. Blasting teams would mark sections for removal. Drilling teams would bore holes into the rock. Hundreds of holes per day. Explosive experts would carefully place charges. Then came the blast, a carefully choreographed explosion that would bring thousands of tons of rock tumbling down the mountainside. Each blast had to be precisely controlled. Blast too weakly and you didn't move enough material. Blast too strongly and you risked. The blasting operations continued for months. Weeks and weeks of controlled explosions, each one removing another chunk of the mountain. Behind the blasts came the mechanical excavation. Massive hydraulic excavators, machines weighing hundreds of tons, would scoop up the fractured rock and load it into massive dump trucks. Each truck could carry 50 tons or more. These trucks would then navigate the winding roads down the mountain, carrying their loads to collection points where the material could be sorted. Some material was reusable. This was trucked back up the mountain and dumped into the valleys that needed to be filled. The excavation operations faced constant challenges. Sometimes workers would hit underground water sources. When this happened, the site would need to be pumped out. Additional geological surveys would need to be conducted to understand the subsurface conditions. Work would sometimes pause while assessments were made. Weather was another factor. Heavy rains could cause mudslides. Storms could make the narrow mountain roads impassable. In winter, snow and ice made operations extremely dangerous. Despite these challenges, the excavation continued. The project schedule allowed no margin for delay. Workers pushed forward in all but the most severe weather conditions. By the end of 2015, approximately 18 million cubic meters of material had been removed. The mountain's profile had changed dramatically. The project was on schedule, but the real engineering challenge was only beginning. While excavation was occurring on some portions of the mountain, the valleys were simultaneously being filled. This wasn't simply a matter of dumping rock into valleys. The fill material had to be carefully placed in layers, each layer compacted to ensure stability. Compaction is critical. Loosely placed fill will eventually settle, creating subsidence and cracks in the runway. Proper compaction requires specialized equipment and careful procedure. Each layer of fill was placed, and then specialized vibratory compactors would drive over the material, compacting it to near theoretical maximum density. samples would be taken and tested to ensure proper compaction. Only when a layer met specifications could the next layer be added. This process repeated thousands of times across the construction site. Each layer might be only half a meter thick. A valley might need to be filled to a depth of 30, 40, 50 meters or more. That meant dozens and dozens of compaction cycles per valley. The foundation construction began once the basic topography had been created. The runway isn't simply poured concrete on top of fill material. A sophisticated foundation system was engineered. Multiple layers of different materials were required. Geotextile fabrics to prevent fine materials from migrating between layers. Drainage systems to manage water. A compacted base course, a sub-base course. Each component served a specific engineering purpose. The foundation construction wasn't completed quickly. This was precision work. Measurements had to be constantly verified. Material quality had to be continuously tested. The work pace was methodical and careful. By the middle of 2016, the basic foundation system was substantially complete. The mountain had been reshaped. The valleys had been filled. The foundation was in place. Now came the next phase, building the actual runway. The runway itself is 2,600 meters long and 45 meters wide. That's roughly a 117,000 square meters of concrete. The concrete had to be mixed to precise specifications, transported to the site, and poured in controlled sections. The runway was poured in sections, each section carefully controlled. After pouring, the concrete had to cure properly. Curing at altitude takes longer. Temperature control had to be maintained. Too hot and the concrete cracks. Too cold and it doesn't cure properly. Once the runway concrete was cured, precision resurfacing began. The runway surface had to be absolutely smooth. Any deviation from specifications could affect aircraft safety. Lasers and precision measurement equipment verified every section. The taxiways and apron areas required equally precise construction. Aircraft had to be able to move safely across these areas in all weather conditions. Drainage systems were installed to manage the high-altitude precipitation. Beyond the runway, the airport itself had to be constructed. Terminal buildings had to be built at high altitude. Hangar facilities for maintenance, air traffic control tower, fuel storage facilities, ground handling equipment, parking areas for ground vehicles, a complete infrastructure system. Each component presented unique challenges at altitude. Building HVAC systems function differently at lower oxygen levels. Fire suppression systems had to be specially designed. Electrical systems had to account for the extreme environment. The airport had to be equipped with modern navigation systems, lighting systems for night operations, weather monitoring equipment, and communication systems. An airport at this location had to be as technically advanced as any airport in the world, because pilots and passengers were counting on it for safety. The workforce remained engaged despite the hardships. These workers were building something genuinely extraordinary. They were part of a project that people around the world would talk about. Pride in the work, combined with decent compensation and good safety practices, kept motivation high. As the end of 2017 approached, the airport neared completion. The final systems were being tested. Safety inspections were underway. The Aviation Authority of China was carefully examining every aspect of the facility. Test flights were conducted. Aircraft were actually brought to this improbable runway and tested. The engineers held their breath as the first aircraft approached the mountaintop runway. Would the precision engineering hold? Would the runway surface accept aircraft operations? It did. Everything worked. The runway was perfect. In September 2018, Chongqing Wushan Airport officially opened. 4 years of brutal construction work had come to completion. The airport that couldn't exist, existed. Since opening, the airport has served hundreds of thousands of passengers. Tourists visiting the Three Gorges now arrive by aircraft instead of spending 10 hours on mountain roads. Regional residents have access to the outside world. The economy of Wushan County has transformed. The airport operates safely and reliably at 1,171 meters above sea level. Aircraft land there daily. Maintenance crews maintain the facility. Passengers walk through modern terminals. For travelers who remember the old days of mountain roads and endless journeys, the airport represents a transformation in their lives. Chongqing Wushan Airport represents far more than an engineering achievement. It represents a statement about human capability and determination. It demonstrates that what seems impossible can be made possible with sufficient engineering skill, financial resources, and organizational will. The project pushed the boundaries of aviation infrastructure development. It showed that airports could be built in locations previously thought unsuitable. It inspired similar projects around the world. Other nations with remote mountainous regions have studied the Wushan project to understand what's possible. The project also represents the particular characteristics of China's development model: massive government commitment to a project goal, concentration of resources on achieving that goal, willingness to invest heavily in infrastructure that serves regional development, the ability to marshal thousands of workers and hundreds of machines toward a single objective. The airport exists at the intersection of engineering, geology, logistics, and human determination. Every ton of rock that was moved, every blast that echoed across the valleys, every truck trip up a mountain road, every bucket of concrete poured, every system tested, all of it was necessary to create this improbable facility. Chongqing Wushan Airport sits today where engineers once said nothing could be built. It operates safely and reliably at nearly 2 kilometers above sea level. Thousands of passengers pass through it every week. The mountain that resisted has been reshaped. The valleys that challenged have been filled. The impossible has become routine, and somewhere above the clouds, an airport built on a mountaintop stands as proof that human engineering, human determination, and human will can move mountains.